a fantastic circuit we are heading to. One that is known all around for one little corner, a left then a right, that drops itself down as one of the steepest drops in all of racing today. This is RaceSpot TV primetime on your Friday nights on iRacing Live from RaceSpot TV. It's your Formula Renault 2.0 series here. Jake Sperry joined alongside by Paul Smith. Paul, a difficult circuit, one where every little inch has got to be perfect. Lap times we're looking at around, say, the 124s, 125, well actually the 118s, 190s. Samuel Libert 118 flat, pole for the moment.
Yeah, he certainly is, but I'm interested to see somebody we haven't seen for quite a while in this Formula Renault. Martin van Loosnord making an appearance, so it's going to be interesting to see how he goes, because we know he's a very rapid driver in this Formula Renault. But, well, Néstor Garcia Jr., is he going to get that win finally? We'll have to wait and see how he goes today. But yeah, plenty of big names in this strong field.
Yeah, it certainly is a very strong field. Let's actually focus then on the number 2 machine, Martin van Loosnord, Apex Racing UK. Let's see what drive he'll get then as he comes to the line. The answer will be then as he crosses the stripe, a 1:17.7. He'll go pole ahead of Néstor Garcia Jr. A great lap then from Martin van Loosnord. He'll have one more then to go work on. At the moment it stands van Loosnord, Garcia, Libert, Garcia, Ramos de Lorenzo, Theteris and Keisler. Your top 5 right now. Yanni Keisler has just moved himself up there. As we look back further, you've got the likes of Samuel Libert then looking to get his second lap shorted, and it is going to be one of those things where he looks to try and get it. Number 6 then rounds the final corner, and we'll see what lap time he can do here, Paul. See if he can find anything more. 3/10 the gap to find, and 3/10, can he find it? 115 miles an hour says he can. He's pole.
Yeah, fantastic, and saw the exit that he got at that final corner as well. Absolutely spot on, brilliant lap from Libert there. Martin van Loosnord is just coming into the corkscrew as well. A man who hasn't set a lap time yet is Mark Usher, so he's going into the corkscrew as well. So plenty of drivers who haven't set times yet, so we'll be keeping an eye on that one. But yeah, van Loosnord, he's now half a 10th behind the pole lap as he heads in towards that final corner. Now it's a tight 90 degrees left-hander there, back end just sliding slightly there from van Loosnord. He's going on the power, he's pushing it all the way to the line. Libert goes a little bit quicker than van Loosnord. Will van Loosnord improve? The answer is no.
No, it doesn't. Néstor Garcia Jr. then on pole position. Mark Usher to the line, can go second row for the moment. So still a lot to be done. David Jarvis yet to set a lap time. Scott McIntyre here on a lap time in the number 8 will be looking to try and get himself a decent result as things stand. You have to say he's been a little bit underwhelming this season, but he will be looking to try and bounce back after a few poor results here and there. McIntyre in the number 8 then. He'll look to drive to the line. He'll have another lap then after this. Just 3 minutes and under counting. 1:19.6. Not good enough. Only P17 for the moment. Alex Bergeron then, who hasn't set a lap time. Kid iRacing himself in that number 11 Apex Academy machine. Gets himself then through the rainy curve. Now heads into the right of 10. Looking for turn number 11. Can he do anything? The Canadian driver we saw. He started from the back and made great headway back at Zolder. We'll see if he can do something very, very similar right here. Alex Bergeron, drive to the line. He does himself a 1:18.3. It's P8 for the moment, but he's got another lap, Paul.
Oh, I'll tell you what, one person who is struggling out there, David Jarvis, he's not going to set a lap time this time. He's made a couple of mistakes, so he's running out of time here. He's going to have one lap to set a qualifying lap time, and he's really been struggling out there as Jarvis. John Godfrey, well, he's decided to not go out and qualify at all. But yeah, you look at that, we've still got Scott Newton, Bergeron still out there trying to set themselves a better lap time. And looking further down as well, Scott McIntyre, it's not the best lap from him. He's heading into that final corner now. It's all about getting that apex, getting the line right. It's not the cleanest of exit out of that final corner, so you're not going to carry that speed up across the line. A 19.6 was his last lap. He doesn't set a lap time this time, so he's way down the order.
Yes, he is. Alex Bergeron then will have his chance, and only David Jarvis can really stand in the way.
He's not even going.
He's not even going. So it's all down to Alex Bergeron then to see if anything will happen. He needs to find 0.8 of a second to pole. He needs to find himself to get onto the second row. 0.4 of a second to bump down Mark Usher. Alex Bergeron rounds the final corner. Can he do anything? The now WCS driver with the black stripe, can he get it? Answers a 17.8. He can. He goes to the second row. Fantastic work then from Alex Bergeron for the Apex Academy. He does so well. Everyone is done then on laps. This is how your grid looks. Néstor Garcia Jr. then will get himself up on pole position, a 1:17.589. He's joined on the front by Samuel Libert with Martin van Loozenhoorn third. Alex Bergeron will qualify in fourth with Marc Usher fifth, with Carlos Garcia Ramos de Lorenzo Tateras in sixth. Danny Keisel then will start in 7th. Dimitri Yanis, quiet qualifying from him, but gets himself a good P number 8, with Scott Newton 9th and Miguel Ballester Izquierdo there in 10th. Now you got Orion Talmon there with Jano Rompelberg, Adria Perez and Javier Sola, Jerome de Courtel, Rob Burr, Brandon Estes, Scott McIntyre, Zilvanas Galuskas there with David Waldock there, David Jarvis and John Godfrey round out 22 cars. And for this, a very interesting lap. We have some very special footage to show. On board then we'll go for a lap of Laguna Seca with Ollie Foka. A beautiful lap inside virtual reality there. Ollie Kvoka then showing us a lap around a difficult circuit here. One of Laguna Seca. Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, as the cars have just under half a minute then to grid themselves up right now. Small kink left, treated as turn number 1 before they head into that Andretti hairpin. No real opportunities there for runoff area around any part of this circuit as they look to go and continue on their merry ways. Iberica then at the front. What can we make then of Néstor Garcia Jr.? 3 races he has failed to win from a winning position with spins. Green flag in the air, and let's get ourselves then underway. Lebert gets an okay start. Van Loozenhoorn will look to go side by side down to turn number 1. Unchallenged they will go. Bergeron will be looking behind. Usher now looking to try and take that one as he looks to go around the outside into turn number 2. Here this Andretti hairpin, all clean for the moment then as they get themselves all nicely through and sorted then as they head to the next right-hander on circuit. This one, turn number 3, still on the inside there. Bergeron looking at that opportunity. Liberto holds the position. Now Usher looking to get through 2 cars now, trying to break away. You can see now packs already starting to form a little bit here, Paul.
Yeah, certainly are. Nice clean start for everyone. Oh, there's a big instant further down. That's Javier Zola, who's been spun around there, and there was definite contact between him and it was Perez who got together. So Perez and Zola dropping down the order there. Big one as Mike Van Loozenhoorn now making moves.
Yes, he is. Talmon and Newton have also had an accident then into turn number 5. You can see here the battle certainly going on to the lead. Martin Van Loozenhoorn in the number 2 machine there for Apex Racing UK. Néstor Garcia Jr. then has to relent with the lead right now here. 23 laps in this one, no pit stops. It's fast-paced action to the flag, and that is what you have to remember. Down into the final corner they come along. Turn number 11. This tight hairpin may be an opportunity come the final lap of this race to see a move, but Van Loozenhoorn currently has things for the moment right now. Just a little bit of gaps then starting to form, but you certainly still see the battles going on in this one. What about Miguel Ballester Izquierdo under pressure from the likes of Rob Burr and Jano Rompelberg here in the middle of your pack to the inside then. Tries a little bit of a move from Rob Burr. He messes it up, and now looking down the inside, Jano Rompelberg looking to go side by side here, Paul.
Yeah, Rompelberg didn't get the exit though, and Burr taking that wider line could get on the power a little bit earlier, so he gets the better run out of that Andretti hairpin. But yeah, there's some really big sort of little groups, little clusters of drivers getting all together as, well, they're looking here, heading towards the bottom of the hill now, turn 5. It's a 4-car train here, and Bo now is putting the pressure on the man in front.
Yes, he is, and oh, there was a little bit of contact there between the two, had to back out of it, and you can see that really does affect the run. Now as they come up the reverse straight, you can see now under pressure will be Rob Burr by Jano Rompelberg then, as they head to the corkscrew. On the brakes they go, and now the train becomes 5, 6, 7 now, as they all just stack up behind Izquierdo in the number 12. The Iberica car now starting to make a few little blockades here in the middle of the circuit. Oh, and a big... Yeah, massive mess then that we've just seen. A big save. Scott McIntyre getting himself out of the way. How has this one ended the way it has done, Paul?
I tell you what, it's him getting onto that curb. Estes lost control of the back end, kept it out the wall. Great driving from him, but now he's way behind the rest of the pack, and well, it's just all about getting to the end now for Brandt.
Yeah, he is now. Adria Perez under pressure. He can't do anything about it. Rob Burr still looking at Izquierdo, and he can't do anything about it. Now looks to the outside then as they head down into the right-hander. Then to turn number 3 can't happen. Looking for turn number 4 maybe, just to get that run. And you can see backs out of it a little bit. Now gets the better run out of the exit. Runs wide as Izquierdo, and now to the outside he'll try and go. And he gets the move sorted before he gets down into turn number 5. So down a position then. The blockade is done. Izquierdo runs wide, and now here comes Jano Rompelberg. Big slide though. And you can see now they're going to check up and don't know where to go. Looking to go almost 3 wide down to here. It's a big mess. And look at Adria Perez now being opportunistic. You can see he's swarming them, and he's got 3-4 positions there, Paul, in the space of a moment. Fantastic work.
This is absolutely crazy. We've got cars going 3-4 wide, and there's a car round. Is that Waldock? Oh, well, there's a big crash here at the corkscrew. There's cars missing a rear wing. And, well, it was a mess. You could see that coming, really. And Rompelberg is a massive loser out of that one. He's dropped down to 19th now.
Yes, he has, and Jano Rompelberg there just tried everything, just got tagged then come the end of that one, and that just caused the train reaction there. That just meant that everything just seized up then down at the corkscrew. And if you want any sort of idea why racing around this circuit is so difficult, everyone getting in close quarters like that, that was the prime example about why racing like this is incredibly difficult. At the front though, Martin van Loosenholt is starting to eke a little bit more of a gap here, Paul. He's opened it up to 7/10 of a second. He seems to have a really good race pace around here, better than his qualifying pace right now, and he'll be looking to try and break away then from the driver Ernesto Garcia Jr.
I know he has been racing in other series around this track in this week as well, so he's very experienced. He knows the lines, he knows how to run a race pace around here, and well, as we say, 0.3 of a second on that last lap he gained over Néstor Garcia Jr. So Jr. is going to just get the head down a little bit, not let him get away, because we've seen so many times in this Formula Renault series on Friday prime time, when the leader gets that gap and breaks that slipstream, that's it, they're gone. They're able to just waltz away then. So Néstor Garcia Jr. is just caught up a little bit on these last sector of the track. They go across the line at 17.8 for both drivers. So Néstor Garcia just halting, just stemming that gap, increasing for the time being.
Yeah, he's doing just enough at the moment to really keep himself there. Let's get a graphic then of your biggest movers and shakers inside your top 10 right now. Rob Burr is the big winner in that one. He is up 7 positions then from his start overall. He's done a great job. Actually, also give a shout out to the number 7 machine right now. That is the carbon racing car of David Jarvis. He's just been very quiet, very assured from the back. Didn't set a lap time, but he's got himself up a total of 9 positions now into 12th on his own here. Paul doing a really good job.
Well, I mean, he's taken advantage of incidents that have gone on around him, and that's what it takes. Then he's done a good job of it. It's all about keeping your nose clean in racing like this. You know, one little mistake, one little contact, you could cause an incident. Speaking of mistakes, John Godfrey's just lost 1 place. He's about to lose another place here, down in that 16th, 17th position.
Yeah, and John Godfrey then under a lot of pressure then as they come out of turn number 5. In fact, he has lost a position. That is Zilvanas Galuskas there, and he doesn't have a rear wing on him right now, so he really is feeling the effects. You can see again, John Godfrey running a little bit wide there. That's going to cost him quite a bit of time then and mean he will lose the back. But look at this train now starting to form them in the middle of your pack. This is the battle for 5th position going on. You've got Carlos Garcia, Ramos de Lorenzo Staceres there with Alex Bergeron, Dimitri Yanis, and Janne Keisler Kaisler looking to get in on the act. You can see tucked right underneath there is Alex Bergeron looking to get himself back through the field right now. He had a poor start, lost a couple of positions, now just trying to find a way past the number 15 machine and not looking like he can find a way through. Carlos Garcia is just keeping himself there, but here comes Bergeron then. He might have a look to the inside. He tries, he makes a late move, and that's a very, very good late move, but here comes the cross and up and under, and you can see now it can't happen for Carlos Garcia Ramos because that's a great move by Alex Bergeron, Paul.
Well, that's the thing, Carlos Ramos, he compromised himself through turn 4. He clipped to the red curb that's there, and that just sent him wide. It compromised his power, being able to get on the power earlier, so that gave Alex Bergeron the run, and well, a late dive down the inside, fantastic move. And it's so easy to do that because the camber of the corner can help you through there as well. So great work as Dimitri Yanis was just running a little bit onto the dirt there behind these two. So Yanis, he's got the foot down at the moment. He's trying to get up with Carlos Garcia Ramos and well, the rest of them. But Bergeron, he's trying to pull away now. He's trying to get that gap and trying. He's got 3 3/4 seconds to Mark Usher in front, who's in third. So it's going to be a bit of a tall order. By the way, last lap, Martin van Loosnord pulled away 2/10 as Jarvis. Look at this battle here for 11th place, Jack.
Yeah, and that's Brandon Estes then looking to try and get in on the action to the outside of Izquierdo, though goes David Jarvis. Don't know where to look, down the inside, round the outside even. He will try as Izquierdo holds the inside. Now Estes gets the inside, that turns to the outside then for turn number 3 in this flowing section of corners. He then looks to the inside, can't do it, and Jarvis pretty much nose to tail through the corner. Just can't find a way past Izquierdo, who's been going backwards all day long, being that big bottleneck. Now Jarvis starts to feel the effects then as he looks for 11th place, looks to the outside then at turn at number 5. And you know what? He's going to hold it there, but he has to check up because Izquierdo's path just went straight into him. And now here comes Estes then down the inside then as they head through. And Izquierdo loses both positions as Jarvis gets through as well. Brilliant sequence of corners.
I tell you what, Izquierdo, take your hat off, son, because he's got a lot of damage on that front wing. He must be struggling for handling around those corners, and to hold back those guys for so long is an incredible effort. So, I take my hat off to you for that one. But yeah, Estes and Jarvis, they're now battling it out over that 11th place. And well, Estes, we've seen that he's got the pace around here. That little mistake that we saw earlier on in the race has cost him, and he's trying to fight back here. Jarvis, we saw, as we said, started at the back and he's had to fight his way through. We've lost 4 cars so far in this race as well, so we're in a number of instances, and these guys just trying to get all that they can out of this one.
Jerome de Courtel then in the number 17 looking to go round the outside, and Miguel Ballester Izquierdo won't happen then on the limping animal that is Miguel Ballester Izquierdo. Not going to happen then into the Andretti hairpin. Maybe at turn number 3 won't happen. The next big opportunity then you can see here for Jerome de Courtel is turn number 5, and at the moment he's waiting. Now he'll start to get onto the power. Now he'll start to try and get that look, and for the moment you can see he'll dive to the inside. Thank you very much, Leon. They get close. There's a little bit of argy-bargy between the two, but Jerome de Courtel says thank you very much. I'll get myself up then into position number 13. Lucky for some, unlucky for others. Whilst the cameras were away, we also saw Carlos Garcia Ramos de Lorenzo Zatheras drop down the pack. He's lost positions to Kaisler and Yanis in the last 2 laps there, Paul, starting to just fall away a little bit as Dimitri Yanis now tries to brake.
Yeah, Yanis is pulling away a little bit of a gap, 1.1 seconds. And, well, Yanis is doing an alright job so far. He, of course, started this race in 8th place, so up to 6th, so a gain of 2 positions here. And he's just having to get his head down, try and look forward, look at that target in front of him, Bergeron. Bergeron has caught up about 0.7 of a second on Mark Usher so far on his chase for that 4th place. But everything just sort of gapping out now. We've had the big excitement now. There's only really Rob Boer and Andrea Perez that are really close together, battling it out for the time being.
Yeah, at the moment you can definitely see Martin van Loosnord just maintaining the gap at about 1 second as things currently stand. It's also interesting to note last lap was the fastest lap of the race, set by that number 2 as Néstor Garcia Jr. is pushing Martin van Loosnord to go as quickly as he possibly can. You also have to remember here, Paul, a very key fact here of the racing that we've seen here on Friday Pride Time. 3 times this season already, Nesta Garcia Jr. has been in a winning position and has thrown away a race-winning opportunity. How will that be affecting a driver like him moving into Laguna Seca?
I think it makes him more determined. I think really he's got to focus on and really push on. You know, the more that it happens, you know you've got the ability there, you know you've got the talent, and it's just getting that final 1%, just that little extra to be able to get it over the line there in the lead. And you know, once you break that duck, the second one is easier. But so far, he's really pushing hard. He's a very talented driver, as we've seen time and again. But as I say, 3 times race leading position, and 3 times he's not ended up with a big W.
Yeah, that is one of the key things, but that last time by, he actually set the fastest lap of the race once again, a 1:17.594 then, as he looks to chase down Martin van Loosenhoorn. These two are pretty much yin and yang at the moment. You can say they are pretty much 2 halves of the same coin, as they are trading fastest laps, looking to try and find the edge over the other, looking to try and make the mistake out of one and the other. And that is going to be the key then, as who is going to mentally break first out of these 2 drivers, to see who will come across the line, the victor come the end. That time by, slower laps for both drivers, a 17.8 and a 17.7. That just means that those gaps look to come in. A 17.9 from Liebert, a 19.1 from Marc Usher, a very slow lap time there, but he is a little bit fortunate that Alex Bergeron could only close 7 tenths and lost 3 tenths the lap before there, Paul. So Alex Bergeron, you know, he's got to get his consistency right together. His last 3 laps have been slower and slower, but he's fortunate at the moment that Usher's making mistakes.
Yeah, and we have seen Usher again. I know I keep on saying this for pretty much all the drivers in this field, but they're all very talented drivers, and it's just those little tiny errors, those little putting 2 wheels onto the dirt, you know, getting the tyres dirty, losing yourself that little bit of grip, having to get off the power a little bit, compromising your line, and well, you know, it's just those little things that'll cost you any position. And Alex Bergeron, as we were saying, 2.4 seconds behind Usher now. He's still been setting faster lap times, but he's not standing out there at the moment. As I'm looking at Rob Burr, he's going side by side with Perez.
Yes, he is. Adrian Perez then to the inside. A little bit of a mistake there from Rob Burr as they head down into the corkscrew. He's got to try and hold that outside line, but he just locks up the rears and he just can't do anything about it. Loses the position when all was said and done. Adrian Perez then, who had been making all sorts of moves before the big one happened in the mid part of your field. Adrian Perez then up into 9th position overall, doing a great job then to make his inroads pretty much clear and said. You also have to remember, he was involved a little bit in lap 1 shenanigans as well, so it's a really great recovery drive from the Iberica car.
Yeah, he's having that recovery drive, and he's finally got up from behind Rob Burr there. Interested to see how he can push on now. He'll have pushed those tyres a little bit, been stuck behind Rob for the last few laps, and it's now all about sort of getting the head down, as I keep on saying, but he's 13 seconds behind. You've really got to think that he's just got to try and push on, make that gap to make his life a little bit easier, and then just hope that people in front make mistakes.
Yeah, that is going to be the key for him. He does need to push on. You do have to remember, though, the gap is 13 seconds.
Bergeron!
Yeah, Alex Bergeron then getting himself involved in a big incident then. So Alex Bergeron then has lost himself quite a few positions. Well. Yeah, and that's Carlos Garcia, Ramos de Lorenzo Terceras ahead. So he has lost himself, gotta say about 7 seconds there, Paul. Big mistake. And it's not uncanny. We saw it at Zolder.
I tell you exactly where it was as well. It was on the exit of turn 5. Got himself a little bit wide through there. He clipped the curb. That sent him wide. He clips the dirt on the outside. Sends him around. He's lucky that he didn't end up going into the wall. Lost the positions to Yannis Keisler and now Carlos Ramos as well. So big error from Alex Bergeron. He's got all that work to do again. And he must be absolutely kicking himself for making a mistake like that.
Yeah, he has to, and that's the sort of element you have to take out of your game. He's very fortunate to have qualified for that iRacing.com Grand Prix World Championship Series, and he'll be looking to try and use that again now. He looks to try and avenge himself now as he looks again to the inside then on Carlos Garcia Ramos, and he gets the position, and he goes back up then to 7th right now. His own recovery drive, looking to get himself to get away, and for the moment, he gets it right. Actually, running very wide there is Carlos Garcia Ramos de Lorenzo Thesaurus, who drops himself about 2.5-3 seconds in the process, and that is another mistake then, and it's these small mistakes that add up to the overall time lost come the end of the race, Paul.
Yeah, we keep on mentioning about it, and it keeps on happening to these drivers. I think about the only two drivers that aren't making the mistakes is Martin van Loosenhoorn and Esther Garcia Jr. Although saying that, Samuel Lebert as well is doing a good job, but interesting to say about those leaders, the gap is now 2 seconds between the two, first and second place, so Martin van Loosenhoorn is in that comfortable place now where he can just start pulling away a bit more comfortably.
Yeah, and that was the big difference, and that big difference was lap 12, a uncharacteristically slower lap then from Nesta Garcia Jr. Actually gets a massive wiggle coming out of turn number 4. Very, very, very much on the edge, and you can see that was an 18.2 on lap 12. Compare that to the fastest lap of the race then that Martin van Loosenhoorn has done of a 17.6. You have to say right now, Martin van Loosenhoorn starting to turn the screw in this one a little bit and break away. Garcia Jr. starting to show the cracks then, and actually Samuel Lebert just waiting in the wings could start to apply that pressure later on into this one then as he heads through the corkscrew right now. Just got yourself about 9-8 laps to go here in this one, Paul. For Martin van Loosenhoorn, it's the same as he'd been doing in the first Friday prime times that we saw. Get out front and look to try and dominate.
Yeah, there was a reason why I called him Mr. Friday Night, because he just did this week after week in that first batch of Friday prime time. Seems ever so long ago. It must be about a year ago now since we started doing these primetime broadcasts. Thank you very much for joining us, making us a part of your Friday night, because with action like this that you see every week, it's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, Martin van Loosenhoorn is showing why he's so good in this Formula Renault car, and whether he can translate that over to other cars as well. Nesta Garcia Jr. just make a mistake on the exit of turn 3 as well, getting on the dirt there, and that's allowing Samuel Lebert to just catch up those little tenths here and there as those laps just count down. And well, Samuel Lebert must be thinking, hang on a second, I've got a chance of that second place here. And so really, these guys, they're all being trading good times, and Nesta Garcia Jr. just making those little mistakes, as we've been saying. But this track, Laguna Seca, is such a challenging track. It's very difficult not to make little mistakes like that, to get wheels onto the dirt. It's just a challenge every corner that you take, and well, these guys are doing a fantastic job to put in lap after lap consistency and the high speeds that they produce. By the way, Martin van Loosenhoorn got caught up behind lap traffic then, going down the hill, heading towards the final turn. So he's dropped about a second on this lap. So Nesta Garcia Jr., he can sniff something here, Jake.
Yeah, he certainly can. Someone else trying to sniff things right now is the number 14. Gianni Keisler then has got back to the back then of Dimitri Yanis, who's had a very scruffy lap, ran wide at turn number 5. He'll be looking to get back in it. That gap, half a second then as they head to the Andretti hairpin, turn number 2. Nothing going to be happening this time by, but Martin van Loosenhoorn then is starting to feel the effects. Then lap traffic does happen, a 19.2. Meet that with an 18 flat. That's 1.2 seconds that last time by, and now Van Loosenhoorn's got to do that work all over again. He's now stuck in the pressure all over again, and there is going to be more pressure behind as the number 6 of Samuel Lebert is waiting in the wings as well. We've got a grandstand finish coming then in the last 6 laps of your race right now, and Martin Van Loosenhoorn will just have to hope that there isn't going to be too much coming back into this one. Keisler starting to fall away a little bit again here, Paul, but he has the draft. Not as effective as other circuits, but the draft is still crucial nevertheless.
Yeah, you do want some draft at a track like this. Yeah, it just gives you that extra mile or 2 miles an hour over the rest of them. Andrea Perez has made a mistake, by the way. He's had a bit of a spin, and that's down at turn number 5, and he's clipped the outside curb, and he's done a Bergeron. Spun it round, almost a 360. I'm disappointed it's not a 360 to be honest. A 270 from him, and he's back up and running. I believe he only lost 1 position there to Rob Burr, so those two now 6 seconds between them.
Boo! do. We want to get more spins, they say in the crowd. But, you know, continuing on our merry way right now, you can see that gap started opening up again at the front, a 17.576. That's Van Loosenholt there with one of his quickest laps of the race there. In fact, his second quickest lap of the race to date right now. So Van Loosenholt now really looking to try and break away and gets a little bit on the curb there. Nesta Garcia Jr. now would look to try and start to come back into this one. Libert waiting in the wings then here on lap 17 out of 23 when the next cross the line. 6 laps to go in this one. And the question is, Paul, where would you prefer to be here in this situation? First, second or third here out of this train right now? Libert's got the most work to do. You've got the likes of Nesta Garcia Jr. under threat from both places in front and behind, or you've got Martin Van Loosenholt starting to feel the effects at the front.
I'd rather be in front because you can control everything. I'm just looking further down your order as well. David Jarvis has got a lot of damage on his front wing. He's having to hold off De Cortel now as they're heading towards turn number 5 as well. De Cortel looking to the inside, not able to make the move, but he's trying to get the run out of that corner, and Jarvis having to go defensive here. These two have been going side by side pretty much for the full lap now. They were side by side going into the corkscrew on the last lap, but to answer your question, yeah, I'd rather be Martin Van Loosenholt. You can control things from the front, and you can keep in front as how De Cortel going side by side, taking that wide line and loses control, and that's it. That's his opportunity gone for the time being. You would just imagine with David Jarvis, with the amount of damage he's got, that De Cortel will get to him, but he's going to run out of time if he makes more mistakes like that, Jake.
The only thing I can think of a spin like that is maybe he's undergeared that and hit first instead of second going down into that corner. That's the only thing with high revs. That's the only reason I can think that it's rotated the car into such a spin like that. It was very, very sudden from Jerome De Cortel, but he's done well to keep it out of anything and keep himself going this one. That gap opens up then to about 1.8 seconds right now, so it's not over and done with between De Cortel and Jarvis then in the battle for 12th position then overall in your race right now. But we still have ourselves some fantastic action to deal with. The battles at the front of the field, the gap has opened again though. It's 1.4 between Van Loosenholt and Nesta Garcia Jr. It's now down to 1.2 though between Garcia Jr. and Samuel Libert. Libert now starting to become a factor here in his later laps, Paul. And Samuel Libert, he's no slouch. He does have a win in Friday prime times here with us so far. So, you know, Samuel Libert could easily be as much of a factor in this one as any of the other two ahead of him.
Yeah, he certainly could, as well. De Cortel said he'd catch up. He's already caught up now by the corkscrew where he'd made the mistake on the last lap. So we'll keep an eye on those two. But yeah, Samuel Libert now 0.8, 0.9 of a second behind, so he's really caught up that gap on that last couple of laps now on Nesta Garcia Jr. And Garcia Jr., he's under pressure now, and he's got to not make a mistake. As all De Cortel looking to the inside of the final corner, and David Jarvis. Again, Jarvis doing a fantastic job placing his car where he needs to, slowing it on the apex so De Cortel can't get that switch back. And, it's certainly working, this defensive driving from Jarvis. As heading towards the Andretti hairpin, getting very close again, but again, Jarvis just perfectly placing his car to be able to hold on to that position.
Yeah, it's almost like a street circuit right now where Jerome De Cortel doesn't know which way to try and find the move, find the gap. David Jarvis is managing that limping vehicle very, very close. You can see just how much De Cortel is checking up here, and he's looking to make mistakes. Now goes to the outside at turn number 5, looking for a way through. Still can't quite do it there. So the game of just trying to find a way around the outside, find a way down the inside, certainly not happening. You're not going to do it up here into the blind turn number 6. Maybe down into the corkscrew if you get a chance, but you can see again, David Jarvis places the car perfectly. Side by side they'll go. Will we see a repeat performance? And actually David Jarvis goes straight on. That's going to check things up, and now you can see that car behind. Miguel Ballester Izquierdo getting in on the action, looking to go around the outside. Not going to happen through the rainy curve, Paul.
But I tell you what, if you're David Jarvis, you're happy to see another car there, because that takes a little bit of the attention off of yourself. But now, De Cortel trying to get the move, looking to the outside of that final turn, turn number 11. He's going to try and hang it out round there. Get on the power early. He's trying to power it now all the way down the straight. And he's not going to get the job done, or is he? They're pulling side by side. And the car behind's just sitting back, waiting for the big crash. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 2. No, they're not. And, the cartel still cannot get past the car of David Jarvis. Fantastic defensive driving. There's another car as well, Rumpelberg, coming into this one. And, well, this is it. The cartel's going to get it now into turn 4. Brilliant run out of 3 there. And he's finally got the job done.
Finally, Jerome de Quartel gets the move on David Jarvis, exactly what he needed, as he now heads into turn number 5 and breaks away from it. Now Miguel Ballester Izquierdo under pressure from Jano Rumpelberg right now there in the number 18. And remember, that big schmoz that we saw earlier on in this race, all of these drivers were in that same sort of mix, all there looking together. Jarvis now under threat. Here comes Izquierdo, superior overspeed.
Oh!
They touch, and David Jarvis will drop 2 positions there in that one moment. And fairy tales of a clean finish just go away from David Jarvis. He was doing so well, but in the end, it ends in tears, Paul.
I was really hoping we were going to get a Jimmy Vasser Alex Zanardi going through the corkscrew, but we didn't get that, unfortunately. And Jarvis, yeah, he's the one who loses out in that one, gets turned around, loses 2 positions. And is that the leader behind him? Yes, it is. So lap traffic again, getting involved with the leader here. Van Loosenhoorn having to work his way through the field. And yeah, Néstor Garcia Jr., he's up with McIntyre as well. So McIntyre is going to go he's a lap down already here as we're heading in towards the penultimate. We're into the penultimate lap, should I say.
Yeah, we're into the penultimate lap of this race. Néstor Garcia Jr. needs it, and you can see just how close he gets. And now he's on the back. That's disqualification then from that driver getting out of the way there, trying to avoid all the incidents. So this is now turning into a scrap. Now Martin Van Loosenhoorn has to be very careful because Néstor Garcia Jr. is there. And any one small mistake then in the final 2 laps of this event, it could spell trouble, it could spell disaster, and it could be not what is wanted right now. Paul, take your pick.
Well, I still think Van Loosenhoorn will have this, but they are catching up to Rumpelberg and Izquierdo as well. Garcia Jr. has got a little bit of damage there as well, so he's carrying things. And I tell you what, he's doing a good job of carrying that damage as well as they go down the hill through Rainy Curve into 10 now. The camber helps you through turn 10 there, and yeah, that front wing of Garcia Jr., it is going to affect him onto the start of this final lap, Jake.
Yeah, and it's all about who dare wins. Lap traffic then could play its role then, and it's Jano Rumpelberg and all of the party then just ahead. Miguel Ballester Izquierdo in that one as well. That was David Jarvis getting out of the way. You can see out of the way then gets that driver of Jano Rumpelberg at 5/10 of a second. Half a second it was as they headed down the line. Now into turn number 3, and it's a case then of Néstor Garcia Jr. needs to close on Van Loosenhoorn. He's done so well all race long. Van Loosenhoorn, he's just been controlling the race, but when that traffic has come along, it has been disaster for Martin Van Loosenhoorn as he has been caught hand over fist every single time. Into the right then they come of turn number 5, and it seems that gap is extending out of the way then. Gets Izquierdo then as they head into that big left-hander, and Van Loosenhoorn a little bit ragged there as he comes up the hill, but that gap, very crucially though, is extending for the Apex Racing UK car into the fabled corkscrew then, into the left, into the right, and time now running out for Néstor Garcia Jr. I think he is just too far back in this scenario, barring a mistake through this right-hander, and there is no mistake from Martin Van Loosenhoorn, who will round the final corner then on the brakes. Slowest corner, one of the slowest corners on the circuit, and power yourself to victory. Take a bow, Martin Van Loosenhoorn. Mr. Friday Night is back in action. Great result for Néstor Garcia Jr. Nothing he could do tonight, and no real mistakes to show either. Second place, just truly beaten. Samuel Lebert, a quiet race, but he did what he needed to do to secure the final position on that podium. What a great little race that we've just seen here, Paul. Action all through the field from start to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Bergeron nearly got that final spot back after losing out, but Keisler just getting ahead. 0.2 of a second he finished ahead of Bergeron, so great driving from them. And well, we saw plenty of incidents. It was an action-packed race and drivers getting caught up in that one. So yeah, the final few drivers coming across the line now to finish this one, and we'll be able to go to the results now.
Yeah, we certainly will. And what a race we have just seen. 29 minutes, 56 seconds was on the clock come the end of this one. But it will be Apex who will be smiling the brightest then, coming out of this event. A win for Martin van Loosenhoorn in the number 2 machine. He beats the number 1, Ernesto Garcia Jr. by just 0.8 of a second as they cross the line. Samuel Lebert then will finish in 3rd position in the number 6. Mark Usher then will come home in 4th. Dimitri Yanis, a quiet drive, but a good drive to get to 5th. Danny Kaiser will pip Alex Bergeron to the line then in the battles for 6th and 7th, with Carlos Garcia Ramos de Lorenzo Terceres there in 8th, with Rob Byrne 9th, edging out Adrian Perez. Brandon Estes then will finish in 11th position, with Jerome de Quartel last of the cars on the lead lap there in 12th, with the cars a lap down. Miguel Ballester, Izquierdo, Jano Rumpelberg, Scott McIntyre, Zivilnus Galuskas there with John Godfrey. David Jarvis 3 laps down, getting disqualified come the end, and 4 cars there who had issues early on. David Waldock, Javier Sola, Orion Talmon, and Scott Newton as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to step aside for just one moment. When we come back, post-race coverage brought to you by Racebot TV on iRacing Live. Don't go away. Well, a fantastic race saw Martin van Loosenhoorn return to winning form as well. He took the win in the end by 0.8 of a second here on Racebot TV and iRacing Live. This was Friday night prime time here, and that was your Formula Renault 2.0 series post-race coverage. Nobody really here to talk to us, Paul, but a fantastic race, a game of fine margins, and those fine margins in the end seem to favour van Loosenhoorn.
Yeah, it's certainly a circuit that will good if I could get words out today. It will really reward people who are consistent, who can hit the marks, and to get everything absolutely spot on. And that's exactly what Martin van Loosenhoorn did there. The only things that he didn't get spot on was the traffic that he got caught up in, but a great win for him.
Yeah, and joining us now in the commentary box is Kid iRacing himself, Alex Bergeron. Alex, for you, a game that started off in 4th position, a great qualifying from you. The opening laps didn't go as you had planned in the end, finishing 7th overall and unable to beat Gianni Kessler to the line.
Yeah, it was a tough race. Made some rookie mistakes. It was I spun out trying to catch the 5th place, I think, the 4th place, I think, trying to catch a ticket. I think it was Mark, and lost it. Saved it though, and made my way back. But if I would have been able to have one more lap, maybe I would have been 6th. But yeah, tough race, but very happy and for that 4th place in qualifying.
Yeah, certainly was, and for you it was a case of trying to find your marks, looking for areas here and there to look and push. Next week, are you looking to try and race this one again? Because we are heading up to Canada itself. It is a home race for you as we head to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Long straights, tight chicanes, a street circuit, a brilliant race. Is it one that you will be looking to target and target very well?
I would like to, but I'm not sure I'll be able to race. That's a special day today, so I'm able to race. But I'm not sure I'll be able to race next week. But yeah, Montreal is one of my favorite track. But you know, I'll maybe not be able to race. So
it hasn't been one of those days for you. Then for next week, potentially, if circumstance does come along, there may be a chance to see Alex Bergeron. But for you, of course, you've got yourself into that very, very elite of the elite, that iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. For you, how instrumental has Apex Academy been to helping you?
I mean, I've joined the academy in March 2016 to help me out a lot. When I say a lot, is a lot. I mean, these guys are all there. They're just trying to help you out. I mean, it's just an amazing. I mean, the academy is amazing. Either on the oval or the roadsides. The academy is an amazing. It's amazing to be part of this academy and trying to help the other guys right now. And yeah, I have some bad luck in the T series, but I made it to the top 20 and make myself a place in that top series.
Well, a fantastic day then for Alex Bergeron. Maybe one that you feel you maybe could have got more out of, but in the end, 7th place is nothing to shake a stick at. But for the time being, that's all we're going to have time for then this evening, ladies and gentlemen. A big thank you to everyone who has been watching at home, to all the drivers, to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca for a brilliant race as normal. That has been Paul Smith. I've been Jake Sperry. That's been Will Vincent behind the cameras. And Martin Van Loosen, or Mr. Friday Night, comes back into it. But what you have to remember is that those leaders of the championship, well, they are trying to make their gains elsewhere. Who can catch Boris Spolstra come the end? Well, you'll have to find out in the next 3 weeks. Good night.